which is the most expensive intervention in the healthcare system, least efficient. Doesn't keep people well. You want to keep people well, not treat them when they're sick.
Exactly.
We really ought to have a wellness program. So we're still working on this. It's controversial.
We're the only industrialized country that does not have a national health service.
Exactly.
The only one. Canada, right above us, has one.
Yep.
Britain, of course, most of all of Western
They
Europe.
talk about socialized medicine. This has nothing to do with socialized medicine.
No, it
doesn't. We do have some government-run health care. The military has government-run health care.
I remember that.
And they like it. The hospital they go to is a military-owned, government-owned hospital. The docs work for the government, and they get good health care. Our veterans get good health care at VA hospitals, a very well-run system. Is it perfect? It is not. But it is a well-run health care system. A government-run program compensating the private sector is Medicare. The payer in that case is the government. So that this shibboleth, this windmill that the opponents have constructed that people can tilt at, of somehow the government is going to take over your health care.
It's absolutely
It is ludicrous. But I'm hopeful that we will come together and come up with a program that gives confidence to Americans.
I am too. Do you think it will happen early next year? Or?
We're working hard at we're working hard at it this year. We haven't given up this year. I got a call. Matter of fact, I'm going to talk to Betsy about this. Matter of fact, I did talk to Betsy Bossert about this. I got a message on my phone when I got home Friday, and it's a woman probably in her late 40s, early 50s, in St. Mary's County. The doctors have found a orange-sized tumor pressing on either her liver or kidneys, and she needs an operation. She doesn't have insurance. Her husband makes $28,000 working for a local entity. She works part-time. They don't qualify for Medicaid. They're not in poverty.
Close to it.
But they don't have insurance. She has to put down 50% of the cost of the operation at the University of Maryland Systems Hospital. That's about $12,000 to $13,000.
Yeah, I know.
Now that's half of their income.
That's horrible.
And she can't afford it. She called me up and said, Mr. Hoyer, what can I do?
Yeah.
So we're working on it.
Oh, good.
But under the new system...
And she's not alone, Steny. There are hundreds of thousands of people in a similar situation.
Millions, John, in that situation. And what happens if she doesn't get the preventive surgery? They think this is not life-threatening at this point in time if they remove it. Of course, they don't know until they remove it, all the diagnosis. But if she gets sicker and requires some sort of intensive care, you're not talking about $25,000. You may be talking about $250,000.
Yeah.
So the fact that she's constrained in getting the medical service she needs may prove for all of us to be much more expensive, as well as for her.
Well, it's pretty expensive right now.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm qualified for Medicare, but I don't use it.
Yeah.
My wife is still working, so we have a plan there, but they only pay 80%.
Right.
You know, I remember when you went to the doctor, it was nothing. Everything was paid for, including prescriptions. Now, you have a huge bill after your insurance.
Yeah, well, things have gotten very expensive.
What about these big pharmaceutical companies? I blame them and the big health conglomerates.
Well, there isn't any doubt as things have gotten bigger and bigger and bigger, they get more expensive. But, John, we want to be angry, but healthcare costs have gone up for three very good reasons. A, we're all living longer.
Oh, that's true.
We're healthier.
Yeah.
But as we live longer, we need more medical services. B, pharmaceuticals.
Yeah.
Now, very frankly, you can be mad at the pharmaceutical companies, but they have produced drugs that keep us healthier, ameliorate illness, and give us cures.
But they're taking us over.
There's no doubt that we pay twice as much, for instance, for a Lipitor pill as they do in Canada.
Yes.
Now, a Lipitor pill is very good for you.
Yeah.
Keeps your cholesterol down, reduces your risk of stroke and heart failure. So it's a wonderful drug, but we pay more than anybody in the world for that drug.
That's not right.
Well, the reason we do is because they got price controls every place else. We don't have price controls
Well, that's
here.
what we need then.
And the third reason, though, is the diagnostic tools that are available to doctors, they're extraordinary, but they're also very expensive.
Oh, yes.
You know, an X-ray costs maybe $175. An MRI may cost $1,500 to $1,750, 10 times as much. But you and I, for our spouses or for ourselves, go in and the doc says, look, X-ray, I'll find out 10% of what I need. MRI, I may find out 90%. You and I say, let's have an MRI.
Yeah.
But we need to get a handle on costs. We need to bring costs down. We need to be paying for quality, not quantity, value added, and that's what we're trying to do. But it is very tough because this is $2.4 trillion of our economy.
Oh, I know.
Complex, complicated, but Americans need to come together and we can solve this problem.
Medical academics have said unqualifiedly that doctors are prescribing or asking for too many of these tests. Something like 60% of CAT scans are not necessary. MRIs, there's a point now that they're talking about the dangers of MRI.
Right.
And most of them aren't really needed. That's something else that is going to have to be dealt with, I would imagine.
Well, there's no doubt we have to look at utilization. And you look at some hospitals that have better outcomes and less cost.
Yeah.
The Mayo Clinic is a perfect example, Cleveland Clinic, perfect examples, versus other hospitals. McClellan, Texas, for instance, is one of the examples where costs are very substantially higher, but outcomes aren't very much better. In fact, not as good.
Yeah.
So we've got to look at that, and part of the system has to be, we need to make sure that value is added. But I want to stress, John, because this is one of the things that people harangue about. The government is not going to come between you and your doctor or your hospital in making medical determinations, period. And anybody who says that, I hear on television,
well, I would point
Republicans talking about, oh, they want to take over your health
I'd like to point out
that
the same situation exists under the British national health system.
Right.
They do not interfere.
But
And
you know
it
who
is-
does interfere?
Who?
The insurance companies.
Yeah, true.
The
There we
insurance
go.
companies say to the docs, no, we're not going to pay for that, we're not going to pay for this.
Well, Steny, we've reached the wrap. But before we conclude, I want to say that your great interest in Bowie, I noticed, I got this mailing, that you have asked the Greater Bowie Chamber of Commerce to reach out to local businesses, get input on Congress, how Congress can most effectively help you to create jobs.
We want to grow jobs. Obviously, that's jobs and fiscal responsibility. They're the two messages of this Congress.
Yeah.
And so we've asked anybody and everybody, particularly small business, which creates so many of our jobs, tell us what we can do at the federal level that will help us and help small businesses create more jobs.
Good. And maybe I'll get a job.
Maybe.
I've been looking for 2 years.
Well, we, you know, call your local congressman. Maybe he can help you.
Thanks very much. I enjoyed
Thank you, John.
talking to you.
Always good being with you.
And to our viewers, thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed this show as well. See you next time.